Hey, boo, how you doing?
Welcome to Yam Yam, the podcast where culture meets real talk and a side of soulful wisdom. I'm your host, Jersey, and today we're going to dive into a topic that's complex and a little personal: divorce and its impact on blended families. So let's talk really quickly. Divorce is never easy. Hopefully, I will never know what it's like to be divorced. However, I am a product of it. But when there are children involved, especially in blended families, the stakes are even higher. I've been thinking a lot about this lately, specifically around Cardi B and Offset. Offset had children prior to their marriage, and it seemed like their union and then their combining of their lives that they just kind of had it together. It seemed like they understood that all of the kids fit into the bigger picture, which was theirs. It just seemed like, even despite their ups and downs in their relationship, that they both understood the importance of providing guidance and stability for the kids involved. That kind of intention, when things are falling apart, is something we don't talk about enough. But what happens when that intention isn't there? When the adults in the room can't or don't step up to connect the dots for their children? That's a reality I know all too well. Again, another podcast. I'm a part of a blended family myself. I don't know if many of you all know that. And my experience growing up was far from picture perfect. My dad, he didn't play a huge role in connecting me and my sisters. Now, as adults, we're left to pick up the pieces and trying to undo years of social and cultural and personal norms that have kept us apart, trying to make a little room for each other in our lives. And as adults, trust me, trying to make a little room for something additional that's not already in your rotation is incredibly hard. But it's like my nana used to say in the kitchen: you can't just toss ingredients into a pot and expect magic. Each ingredient has its own timing, its own need for attention. You gotta slow down, taste as you go, and adjust along the way. And you know what? As wise as that woman was, I know she wasn't just talking about cooking. She was talking about life and about family. In a blended family, everyone is their own ingredient. They come with their own flavors, their own experiences. You can't just expect everyone to blend together without effort. It takes time and patience and a lot of fine tuning to create something that works, something that feels right. If you don't take time, if you just throw everyone together and walk away, you end up with something that's either overcooked or underdone or something that just doesn't quite hit the mark. And it's the same with family. Without proper care, attention to relationships, it could become strained and result in a dish, or in this case, a family that's missing that special something, that sense of connectivity and unity. Connection is so important in blended families. You have no idea. But what happens when that care isn't there? When the relationships between the siblings and the step siblings aren't nurtured? When the parents don't step in to guide the process? The result can be a lot of pain, resentment, distance that follows you into adulthood. I know that all too well, because when you have all of these things in play, the idle mind has a really funny way of creating stories and alternate versions of reality, because you have to make sense. The brain and the heart has to make sense of why this is happening. You have to find a reason, because when there's no reason, it's just too much to bear. So that's something I'm dealing with right now. Trying to build connections with my own sisters that we never had the chance to form when we were younger. It's hard work too, and it requires a lot of unlearning on both parts. Unlearning. Yes, a lot of unlearning. And you do that in therapy, a lot of mental health work. We're trying to undo the social and personal norms that we grew up with, trying to make room for each other in our lives now. And trust me, that's a that's a chore in itself. Most of us are married. We got kids. Kids are going to college. Kids are getting ready for pre-K. Kids are little. Finding our careers. All of these different things are happening that takes time and attention. So to create room or make a little bit room for something else is just, it may seem impossible. But you know what? Even though it's not easy, I believe in my heart of hearts that it's worth it. Because at the end of the day, family is what you make of it. And sometimes you have to be the one to step up and make the first move. Now, I know I'm not the only one dealing with this. Divorce and blended families are more common than ever. And the impact on mental health is real. And if you're in a similar situation, there are a few coping strategies that might help. First, communication is key. Talk to your siblings, your parents, your step-parents. Be open about how you're feeling and listen to what they have to say. It's not always easy, but it's a crucial step in rebuilding those relationships. Second, set boundaries where you need to, but also be willing to push past your comfort zone, just a little. Building connections takes effort from both sides, and sometimes that means having difficult conversations and spending time together in ways that feel uncomfortable at first. And finally, don't be afraid to seek out professional help if you need it. Therapy can be a great way to work through those emotions that come with navigating such a complicated family dynamic. And I know because I went and did my own work many years ago in order to get to where I am now. And it was so worth it. So if you're thinking about it, just do it. But don't go into a therapist's office thinking that that person who's sitting across from you is going to fix you. Here's the secret. When you go to therapy, you fix you. Because you're going to be open enough to the line of questioning and coping strategies that they provide to you that's going to make you better than ever. So go to therapy. It's okay to ask for help. It means that you're taking care of yourself. So don't feel bad that you trying to find an appointment to a therapist. You're doing the right thing. And as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with a call to action. If you're a part of a blended family, whether you're a parent, you're the child, a sibling, take a moment today to reach out to someone in your family. Start a conversation, plan a get-together, or just let them know you're thinking about them. It doesn't have to be big, the gesture. Sometimes the smallest steps can lead to the biggest changes. And remember, just like my Nana Stu, building a family takes time and care. But with the right ingredients and a little patience, you can create something truly special. I want to thank you all for tuning into this episode of Yam Yam. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Be nice to me because I'm sensitive about my ish. And as always, be the best possible version of yourself. Take care.
I'm just checking on you, okay? I love you. Bye.